What's going on, guys? Today is the fourth video of our Suzuki Samurai Build Series, and we're continuing our work on the rear 4-link suspension. I could not be more excited for today's video because a lot of the work is really becoming a reality. I ended up picking up some DOM tubing. This is 2-inch quarter wall DOM tubing that we're going to use for our lower links. And I've also got my 7/8 Heims and some weldable bungs that we can get going on putting some real links under the Samurai. I've already gone ahead and modeled some mounts in Solidworks for our 4-link. So I have the frame side and the axle side already done. And what we're going to do is push that into Sheetcam and do some of the tool pathing. We're then going to transfer it into Firecontrol and cut it on the Langmuir Crossfire Plasma table. If you haven't seen those 3 other episodes of the Suzuki Samurai up until now, head over to the channel and check those out. And if you guys haven't seen any Nigel's videos, you've got to check them out. He's doing a TDI powered rock crawler in his Toyota pickup. It's already on 37s. He's got a rad build going on, and he's got a lot of really cool content in his first 3 videos. All right, guys, you sick of me talking yet? Because I know I am. I want to get some of this cool stuff going. So let's get at it. So for our work today, I'm just going to use this piece of 1/4-inch steel that I have sitting around. I'm not going to tear into our big piece of 1/4-inch steel until I finalize the design of these mounts. This is really just to get a feeler for how it translates from my 3D model onto the physical Samurai. This little section here is where the frame rail is going to be. So these 2 faces are going to be flat on the frame rail. I've also gone ahead and done some tabs on each of these as well, so the assembly is a little bit easier for me. I went ahead and did a 3D model of the entire Samurai, as well as a bunch of the different components. I modeled out the actual tub of the Samurai, as well as my fender wells. This rear part is my tailgate. So I'm hoping this is going to help me understand what I need to cut on the actual Samurai body. And then I can determine my spring lengths, my shock lengths, and my driveline angles. This disc here is my transfer case output. So it is coming quite close, and that's what today is about. As you guys saw, we now have all those parts brought into Sheetcam, and the tool pathing is completed. It's been exported as a TAP file. That's the file extension that Firecontrol likes to use as the input. So that's been generated. Now our next step is turning the machine on, loading it in, and doing a dry run. If you guys haven't seen already, I did a previous video on cutting out a bunch of these test pieces for shock tabs. So I ran about 15 different cuts to try to dial in the settings of this machine. So I'm feeling pretty confident about knowing how this machine is going to run on this type of steel. As I mentioned, go check that out on the channel. Wow, guys, look at these. I could not be happier with that. For a first set of link mounts, this is looking pretty amazing. I ended up cutting these out of checker plate. So this is just a piece of 1/4-inch steel I had around the shop, and this is just going to be a first test of this style of mount, as well as fitment under the Samurai. But what's nice about this tab and slot design is that you can literally just click them together, throw a welding magnet on there for 90 degrees, and your piece comes together rather quickly. Now remember, this is checker plate, so a few of these tabs have the checker directly on it. Like for example, this one does not actually click in right now, so I just need to grind it down a bit. Well, after some cutting and grinding, a little bit of massaging, a little bit of force, we got all of these together. And this is the intention. Here, I'll serve it to you on a platter. Yeah, this is the current assembly for my frame side link mounts. Now remember, this is just kind of like a prototype, proof of concept for this design. Also, when I was trialing out different sizes of tabs and slots, I tried different tolerances, and I think I have a good idea of where I want to do the final design now. So I think what we'll do next is I'm going to unbox that welder. We have not used it yet, so this is going to be my first time running a weld with it. So we'll tack this thing together. We'll hold it up underneath the Samurai on the frame in the location that we want it mounted. My main focus is making sure that I have enough clearance with the transfer case output, as well as with the lower link on the frame rail. So that's what I'm going to focus on right now. We're going to tack this together and take a look at how it is. Alright, so I was able to tack this link bracket in on the frame side, and I've been laying a piece of 2-inch DOM tube. This is going to be the real link when it's complete. And I want to check for clearance on the frame. And we can see that this is going to be no issue at all. So I can lift this up probably about 6 inches until we hit the frame. And I'm only planning about 4 inches of compression, so this is clearly not going to be an issue. So part of the plan with building this upper link bracket was I would have to chop this cross member out. My last step is just to check the clearance of this drive shaft. So this is definitely very tight, but we do have clearance. We actually have a good amount of clearance beside that joint and this link mount. So I'm feeling pretty happy with this. I think this mount is a great location, and I think this lower link is going to work great. Well guys, I think that's a wrap for today. I'm pretty tired and we got a ton done on this project. I'm really happy to see that link mount actually tacked onto the Samurai frame. It was awesome to go from that virtual design in Solidworks to cutting it out to actually tacking on that frame today. I think the next video is going to be really jam-packed with prepping these axles, getting the rest of the frame mounts built, tacking everything on. Hopefully we can cut that DOM tubing to the proper length and tack in the weldable bungs and put the Heim joints on. So if you guys like what you see, please consider subscribing. We're trying to pump out weekly build videos alternating between the TDI Toyota pickup that Nigel is doing, as well as this Suzuki Samurai build. And then on top of that, we're going to try to pump out as many videos as we can midweek to give you guys as much cool content as possible. If you liked what you saw, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. Please hit us up in the comments if you have any questions. We try to get back to you as soon as we can. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.